So in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you my League 2 table predictions. The season starts on Saturday. Today, I am giving you my League 2 table predictions for the upcoming 2022-23 campaign. Now, if you do go on to enjoy today's video, make sure you drop a like on it. 150 likes would be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now closing in on 6,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so, and it does massively help out. Get your predictions in down in the comment section down below. Who are your two teams to go down and what will be your top 7 for this upcoming season? I'm sure I'm going to offend some fans of some certain clubs. There's definitely some interesting picks there. I thought it was really hard to pick the teams this season. It was a lot easier last year. This season I wanted to put about 10 teams in that mid-table category who just miss out on the playoffs. It was really hard to do, so make sure you drop a like on today's video, subscribe if you are new as well, and let's get into it. So just to point out, obviously today is the 27th of July. There is still plenty of time left in the transfer window. Plenty of things could change, but this is what I think will happen for the whole season. You know, some managers do expect to be sacked and lose their job, especially some of them ones that I've got lower down in the table. But if we start then with 24th place, I have gone with Harrogate Town. I think their squad is weaker than what it was last season. They started off the season really well, got a couple of injuries, and then just fell off a cliff from pretty much January onwards. Losing Jack Diamond, obviously he went back to Sunderland. That's a massive loss for them. He was a big part of their success last season. Jack Muldoon is now a year older. Luke Armstrong, can he really carry them on his back? I'm not so sure. I think Joe Mattock is a very good signing, but I just don't think they've got enough quality going forward to score enough goals, unfortunately, to keep them up this season. I know they have been a lot of teams' favourites for relegation this season, and that is the reason why I've put them at 24th in my list. 23rd place, and the other team to get relegated, I have gone with Barrow. I was in a massive debate between the team I put 23rd in Barrow and the team that I put in 22nd. I've literally just changed it right at the last minute. I do think they have made some good signings. I think George Ray from Exeter on a free transfer is a fantastic signing. Ben Whitfield as well from Stockport County. I think that's a great signing. Obviously, they brought in Pete Wild as their manager. I just don't think they've got enough goals in there. Their 3 strikers are Josh Gordon. He's not going to score you more than 10 goals. Richie Bennett, who's coming from Sutton, don't know too much about him. And Billy Waters, who granted did very well with Halifax last season under Pete Wild, but does he have the quality to do it in the AFL? I'm not so sure. John Rooney's a good player who signed in January. Josh Kay will score you a couple goals, but I just don't think they've got enough going forward. Defensively, they look okay. Canavan and Ray, I think, will be a decent League 2 partnership, but I just don't think they've got enough quality this season to avoid the drop, so I have gone with Barrow in 23rd. In 22nd place, the team I just pimped Barrow to avoid relegation, I've gone with Colchester United. They've been on the decline for the past couple of seasons. Last season were lucky in the end to stay up, and they've not really improved in their squad. They've brought in Sam Hornby, they've lost Shamal George, they've lost Brandon Wade, who's gone to Fleetwood. I think if it wasn't for Freddie Sears, they would be in my bottom 2. I think Freddie Sears, obviously, he is 32 now. Their other striking options are Johnny Kinde, 33, and Frank Newbley, 30. They've got a lot of old players in their squad. Alan Judge at 33, Cole Skews at, I've probably absolutely butchered his name, but at 36, Tom Eastman at 30, Luke Chambers at 36, Tommy Smith, 32. They've got a lot of old players in that team. I think they will just about have enough quality in there to stay up, but I think they do need a big rebuild. I'm really surprised they've only brought in the 3 signings so far. Alex Newby from Rochdale is an okay signing, and Osama Ashley, I don't know all too much about, so I can't really comment on him. Sam Hornby, I would say, is pretty much a downgrade on Shamal George as well. Looks like he's gone in there to be their number 1, but interested to see how Colchester get on next season. I have them just avoiding the drop in 22nd. In 21st place, and a massive drop off from last season, I have gone with Sutton United. Losing David Ajaboye to Peterborough is an absolutely massive loss. He was a big part of how many goals they scored last season. I'm just looking at their team, and I don't think they have enough quality going forward to score the goals that they did last season. I think Donovan Wilson is now probably the man they're relying on to score some goals, and yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, because I don't think this Sutton squad had a lot of quality in it last season, but they just, unfortunately for them, missed out on the playoffs with like 1 or 2 games to go. So hopefully for them, their sake, this season they'll be looking to probably finish around mid-table, because I think the league is stronger this season in that higher up part of the pitch. But a little bit of a drop off for Sutton, and I have them predicted to finish 21st. In 20th place, I have gone with Paul Simpson's Carlisle. Carlisle fans seem to think they'll be able to push for the playoffs this season. I personally don't really see it. They have obviously got one of the smaller budgets in the league. When we played them on the last game of last season, they didn't look great. I know they've brought in a few players since then. I don't really see a goal scorer in their team. Amari Patrick, good wide player. He'll probably score them 10-15 goals next season, potentially even maybe at 16 or 17 if he does stay fit for the whole season. Jordan Gibson as well, if you can get the best out of him, he'll get you 10-15 10-15 goals as well. They seem to think Ryan Edmondson's a 20-goal-a-season striker to Carlisle fans, and I'm not really too sure where this has come from, to be honest with you, because every loan move he's had, whether it was with Port Vale or Northampton, he's really struggled for minutes and goals. He hasn't really done it. I think Sonny Hilton on a loan transfer from Fulham looks like a good sign, and he's been decent throughout pre-season. Christian Dennis, if you can get him finally scoring goals, I think, they might do pretty well. Owen Moxon as well, Carlisle fans seem to, have good opinions on, but for me personally, I don't think they'll be in too much relegation battle, and I think they will finish in 20th place. In 19th, I have gone with Hartlepool. I think their squad is slightly weaker than last season. Obviously, losing Luke Molyneux to Doncaster Rovers is a massive loss, and Timmy Odesina has come to my team, Bradford City. I do think they are two massive losses for them, but they brought in Callum Cook to replace Molyneux. I think he's more than an adequate replacement. I personally wanted Callum Cook to stay. I really rated him, but unfortunately that didn't happen. He moves on to Hartlepool, and I do think he'll do really well for them next season. I don't think they've got much quality going forward. I don't really know too much about some of these strikers that they have brought in. Obviously, they got Marcus Carver last January from Southport. He hasn't really worked out for them so far. They've brought Jake Hastie on a free transfer from Rangers as well, which I think is a decent sign. I don't actually know if that was a free transfer or they paid a compensation fee for him. I'm not too sure. But they brought in Jake Hastie on a permanent deal from Rangers. I'm just looking at their squad. I'm thinking it's alright. Probably not going to be in too much relegation wars, but I don't think they'll be able to do as good as what they did last season, because I do think their squad is slightly weaker, and that is why I have Hartlepool United to finish in 19th. In 18th place, I have gone with Robbie Stockdale's Rochdale. He's one of them managers that I do think will be sacked by the end of the season. I think their squad is a little bit weaker than what it was last season. I do think the signings of Ethan Ebanks Lendell and Tumani Diagaraga are two fantastic signings at this level, but I'm just not seeing where the goals are going to come from. Ian Henderson, who they've recently brought back to the club from Salford on free transfer, he's now 37. There's no way he's going to be able to play all 46 league games next year, and then they're relying on Luke Charman and Tavon Campbell, who have only really done it in the National League North, and hasn't really worked out for them since their move to Rochdale. So they'll be looking to progress and start scoring some goals. Obviously brought in Richard O'Donnell as well from my team, Bradford City, on a free transfer. I don't think their squad is particularly much better than what it was last season. They finished 18th last season. I'm predicting them to finish 18th this season, and that's what I think about Rochdale. In 17th place, I have gone with Grimsby Town. I'm looking at their squad and I'm thinking they'll have the momentum coming up from the National League. I think I saw a statistic where there was only winning in the National League playoffs for like 11 or 12 minutes, something crazy like that. But I think they've recruited fairly decently. To be honest with you, Kieran Green from Halifax looks like a good signing. Otis Khan as well from Leyton Orient. They've also brought in Anthony Glennon as well from Burnley. I know he was previously with them, and their fans seem to rate him. If they can keep John McAtee fit for the full season, I think he scores you 15-20 goals next season. He plays more of a second striker. I do think they need a better number 9 than Ryan Taylor and Danilo Orsi, but if they do get another striker in, I think they'll definitely be more than comfortable to stay up. I don't think, like what some people are predicting, where they'll be pushing in for the playoffs, I don't think they've quite got enough quality to do that, but I think for a first season back in League 2, I think Grimsby fans would be more than happy with a 17th place finish. In 16th place, I have gone with one of the teams who were relegated from League 1 last season. I have gone with AFC Wimbledon. I'm just not seeing the quality in their squad. Obviously, losing Radoni, I think that is a massive loss. He obviously joined Huddersfield. I think their recruitment overall has been average, to be honest. I think Pierce from Millwall's a good signing. Gunter from Charlton was absolutely horrendous for the past couple of seasons. I do think Paris Magoma from Brentford on loan is a very good signing. They've also brought in Kyle Hudlin on a loan transfer from Huddersfield. When I watched him in the National League playoffs for Solihull, he looked really poor, and there's rumours that they've paid £100,000 for Josh Davison, who I was never impressed with him. Every time I saw him play for Swindon, I thought he was really poor, to be honest with you. He's 22, so there is definitely time for him to develop and score some goals, but I can't see him scoring any more than 15 next season. I just don't think they've got the quality in there to push on any higher. I do think McCormick and Asal are two good players at this level, along with Alex Woodyard, but I'm just not really seeing it. There's rumours Anthony Hartigan could be leaving the club as well, so that is my prediction. I do think Lee Brown, actually, from Portsmouth is a very good signing, but I just don't think they've got enough quality and enough depth to really push on and do anything better than that next season. In 15th place, I have gone with another team who were relegated last season. I have gone with Crewe Alexandra. Anywhere really from 16th onwards, I could really see them challenging for a playoff spot. I just don't think they've brought in enough players, to be honest with you. I think Courtney Baker-Richardson from Newport County is a good signing. Obviously, Chris Long will probably score you 10-15 goals as well. Connor Thomas as well from Cheltenham Town. I do think that's a good signing, but they've brought in Kelvin Liam Mellor is a first choice right back. He was really poor at my team, Bradford City. At the time of recording, they've still got Luke Offord as well at the centre of defence and Tom Lowry in the midfield. I just don't think they've got really enough quality to really push on for the playoffs. But I think for a first season back in League 2, a mid-table finish for Crewe wouldn't be the end of the world. In 14th place, I have gone with Newport County. Obviously, the two massive losses of Dom Telford. He's joined Crawley on a permanent basis. And obviously, Finn Azaz as well. He was on loan from Aston Villa last season. He has now gone out on loan to Plymouth Argyle in the league above. I just don't think they've adequately replaced them goals that they scored last season. I think their squad is considerably weaker. I do think Mickey Demetriou is a good centre-half. Matty Dolan as well, good central midfielder. I do think the signing of Aaron Wildig from Morecambe as well, I do think that's a very good signing. But replacing Telford and Finn Azaz with players like Omar Bogle and Afrande Zanzala, definitely not going to replicate anywhere near the goals that them two scored last season. So for me personally, I think it will be a little bit of a drop-off. Obviously, Newport last season finished 11th. I think they will finish 14th for the upcoming campaign. In 13th place, I've gone with Steve Evans Stevenage. I think some people are getting overexcited by Stevenage. They've made some good signings, but not really good where they're going to challenge for a playoff spot. Kyle Piergiani from Oldham, very good signing. Getting Michael Bostwick as well on a permanent basis from Burton, I think that's a good signing. Also bringing in Aaron Chapman as well from Gillingham. I really like that signing. Danny Rose as well comes in from Northampton. Luke Norris is a goal scorer at this level. Elliot List will score some goals as well. I think they've got a good team. Jake Taylor and Jake Reeves, good central midfield partnership as well if they can keep them both fit for the season. I don't think they'll be able to push on into the top half, but I think a 13th place finish for Stevenage after the past couple of seasons, don't think it'd be the end of the world whatsoever. In 12th place, I have gone with Michael Flynn's Walsall. They've brought in a lot of players, but a lot of them where I'm a bit like, I mean, that's an alright signing, but I can't say I'm overly impressed by that. I do think the loan signing of Danny Johnson from Mansfield, if he can re-secure his form of what he had when he was at Leyton Orient, I think that is a very good signing. They've just kind of signed a lot of meh players or a few unknowns like Timmy Abraham from Fulham. I mean, is he really going to score you the goals at this level? I'm not so sure. Flynn Clark on loan from Norwich, I do think that is a good signing, and getting Isaac Hutchinson in as well from Derby County on a permanent basis, I do think that is a good signing. They've also brought in Liam Gordon as well from Burton, good signing. Peter Clark, experienced centre-half, but I just don't think they've got enough. I don't think they've improved too much on the squad that they had last season. They've brought in a lot of players, but not too much quality. Owen Evans as well, good goalkeeper at this level, but can't see them really challenging for the playoffs. I think Walsall fans would probably be fairly happy with a 12th place finish. You know, it's an improvement on the previous season. In 11th place, I have gone with Kevin Betsy's Crawley Town. I think the signing of Dion Conroy from Swindon Town is an absolutely fantastic one. Obviously, bringing in Dom Telford. If he can get anywhere near the amount of goals he scored last season, I think that would be a very good sign. If he can get between 15 and 20 goals, I think that would be considered as a success. They've got a lot of goal-scoring strikers, though. Kwesi Appiah, Ashley Nadesan, even Aramide Ote and Tom Nichols will chip in with a few goals. They've got the goal scorers. Not too sure if they have the creativity out wide to really challenge for the playoffs, but I think for Kevin Betsy's first season, I think they would take a outside chance of the playoffs, but I don't think they've really got enough quality to really push for the playoffs. The rest of the teams, though, definitely do have a really good shout of challenging for the playoffs. In 10th place, I have gone with Salford City. Very similar team to what they had last season. It was confirmed yesterday that Jordan Turnbull has left the club. He's joined Tranmere Rovers, which I do think is a massive loss for them. But we all know the quality in that squad of Salford City. Matt Smith is going to score 20-25 goals next season. Brandon Thomas Asante as well, he might score 20. Conor McElhaney, if he can rekindle his form from Fleetwood, I do think he'll be, a really key part of their success next season. Obviously, they've brought in Elliot Watt as well from my team, Bradford City. If you play a system that suits him, he's a really good central midfielder at this level. Players like Jason Lowe, Ryan Watson, Ibu Torre, and even Tom King in between the sticks as well. I think maybe if they get another centre-half in, they could really challenge for the playoffs. But as of right now, I think Salford City will finish in 10th place. In 9th place, I have gone with Neil Harris Gillingham. Obviously, a fairly small squad, to be honest with you. I definitely do think they need to bring in some more players. They brought in Scott Cashgate and Mikhail Mandron from Crewe. I think they're two decent signings at this level. Ben Reeves as well, if he can rekindle some of his form from when he was at MK Dons, I think he could be a good player at this level. Sean Williams as well in the centre of midfield, they've brought in from Portsmouth. I think that's a good signing. Ryan Law as well on loan from Plymouth. I do think that is a very good sign. I think they need to keep improving to really challenge for a playoff spot. I think they definitely need another 5 or 6 signings maybe, because they have got a very small squad. But we knew that with Gillingham, they were going to need to rebuild massively coming into this season, and that is why I have them to finish 9th for the upcoming campaign. In 8th place, I have gone with Gary McSheffrey's Doncaster Rovers. I think they've brought in a couple of decent players, but they haven't improved their squad drastically from what it was last season. Clearly, Gary McSheffrey Harris sees that they've got some good players in this team. I think Harrison Biggins from Fleetwood is a very good signing. Obviously, Luke Molyneux as well from Hartlepool, good player. Lee Tomlin, if he can get the best out of him, he could be a really good player at this level. But if he doesn't work out and he's on a high pay package, then it could be a massive flop. Kieran Agard as well, he's now 32. I'll be interested to see how he does get on. They've obviously brought in George Miller as well from Barnsley. 23 years of age, 3-year deal. Interesting to see how he gets on because he's fairly inconsistent at this level. He'll score like 5 in 5 and then he won't score for 10 games. So interested to see how he does get on. Obviously, my team, Bradford City, played Doncaster Rovers on Saturday for the first game of the season. So that should hopefully be a good game. But I don't think they've got enough quality in there right now to really challenge for the playoffs. I think they'll unfortunately just fall short. If they maybe bring in another striker, I definitely could see them challenging, but as of right now, I'm going with a 8th place finish for Doncaster Rovers. Moving in then to the playoff spots, in 7th place, I have gone with Swindon Town. I know they've lost a couple of their key players from last season, like Wallacott, Egbo, Jack Payne, all going to Charlton Athletic, but at the time of recording, Harry McCurdy is still a Swindon player. They've kept all the players like Louis Reed, Johnny Williams, Ellis Iandola. You know, they've still got that core, that real grit and determination about their team that was a big part of their success last season. Lewis Ward is not exactly a bad goalkeeper at this level. They've brought in a lot of players, again, similar to Walsall, where I don't really think they've got that much quality that they've brought in, but they've brought in enough, like such as players like Romeo Hutton from Barrow, Saidu Khan as well from Chesterfield. I do think that is a very good signing. Ronan Darcy from Bolton Wanderers, I do think that is a good signing. If they're getting a real number 9, a goal-scoring striker, I definitely do think they could maybe challenge for automatics. McCurdy needs to keep up his form of what he had last season for Swindon as well, and I do think Swindon Town will be a team that reach the playoffs next season. In 6th place, I have gone with Richie Wellens, Leyton Orient. I do think this is the season where they will finally prove everybody wrong and finally get into the playoffs. Keeping all the Lawrence Figueroa is obviously, you know, a very good piece of business. Players like Beckles and Dan Happy at the back, 2 very good players at this level. Bringing in George Moncur from Hull is a fantastic signing. Darren Prattley, good central midfielder at this level. They've brought in Archibald and Georgiou as well. I think they paid a little bit of money for Archibald. I'm not too sure about Georgiou, but also keeping hold of players like Harry Smith, Aaron Drinnan, Paul Smythe. I think if they can keep them fit for the season, they could even challenge for the top 3. But as of right now, I do think Leyton Orient will be finishing 6th for the upcoming campaign. In 5th place, I have gone with my team, Bradford City. I'm not going to put too much pressure on the season and say we're going to win the title like what I did last season. I think we've got enough quality in there, though, to definitely challenge for a top 7 finish. Bringing in players like Romney Critchlow on loan from Huddersfield, as well as Kean Harrott. 2 centre-halves that we've brought in Matty Platt and Timmy Odesina as well. 2 fantastic signings at this level. Bringing in Richie Smallwood, he's an unbelievable signing. Osadibes looked really impressive in pre-season. Jamie Walker, he's a goal-scoring midfielder at this level. Harry Chapman, fantastic signing. Vidane Oliver scored goals for fun in the league above for the past couple of seasons. And Jake Young as well, you know, a young player with a lot of potential. That's not even mentioning players such as Ryan East, Brad Halliday, Colin Doyle, Harry Lewis. You know, we've brought in some real good quality players. I think with Mark Hughes as well, I do think we need to get a couple of players maybe out on loan. Now, pre-season hasn't gone the greatest. You know, we've got picked up a few injuries, and I think having a big squad with lots of quality with the 5 subs rule, I do think that will definitely benefit a team like us. We need to get a few players still out of the door, and we'll be very happy with our transfer business. I think we need another winger in. Hopefully we get Dion Pereira back, but that does look very unlikely with Abo Issa being out for a while, though. I do think we need to get in another winger, and our incoming business probably will be done from that point of view. But I think this season, my team Bradford City will finish in 5th place. Hopefully, for once, we finally have a successful season, but who really knows? In 4th place, I have gone with the National League champions from last season. I have gone with Stockport County. Fraser Horsfall from Northampton is a fantastic signing. Callum Camps as well from Fleetwood, very good signing. Akil Wright from York, very good signing. Connor Lemonhay Evans from Torquay, very good signing. Kyle Wotton, fairly unproven in the EFL, but has done very well for Notts County for the past couple of seasons. If you mix that in with players like Paddy Madden, Connor Jennings, Scott Quigley, Ollie Crankshaw, Miles Hippolyte, they've got goals in their team. Players like Rydell, Crosdale, as well as Collar, Saltham Hills, you know, the list goes on. They've got an absolutely fantastic squad at this level. I think they'll just fall short of the automatics in the end, but I think I'm more than confident with seeing Stockport in the playoffs, and I think they are going to finish 4th for the upcoming campaign. Moving in then to my top 3. In 3rd place, I have gone with Tranmere Rovers. They were in the top 3 for the majority of last season, but just fell away in the last 10-15 games or so. But I do think this will be a season where they do finally get back into League One. I think they've gone down a different sort of route with their recruitment. They've gone for some more younger players, because I know they had one of the older squads in the league last season. Obviously, Peter Clark, he's moved on to Walsall. Jay Spearing as well has gone back to Liverpool to be an academy coach there. So they've lowered the average age of their squad. Can't say I know too much about their signings, but I think the core that they had last season, they've kept hold of the majority of them. I think definitely they will be in my top 3 next season, and I have Tranmere Rovers finished 3rd for the upcoming campaign. In 2nd place, I have gone with John Brady's Northampton Town. I've been very impressed with their recruitment. Shame about losing Liam Roberts to Middlesbrough and Fraser Horsfall to Stockport County, but I think they've more than replaced them. Lee Birchett from Sunderland is a fantastic signing. They've also brought in Ryan Hayes as well from Newport. I think that is a good left-back addition. Ben Fox on a free transfer from Grimsby. I think that's an absolutely fantastic signing. And Danny Hilton as well from Luton. He's going to score 20 goals minimum next season if he can stay fit. If you mix that in with players like Sean McWilliams, Mitch Pinnock, Sam Hoskins, I definitely do think they will be able to have a successful season. Ali Koike as well, a player I've not even mentioned, John Guthrie, you know, the list goes on. They have got a very good squad at this level, and I do think Northampton Town will be the runners-up for the upcoming campaign. Obviously, they had a horrendous time out last season in the end, you know, losing out on automatic promotion on the final day of the season on goals scored, and then obviously they had a torrid time in the playoffs. They were really, really poor. That does leave it then. My League 2 champions, I've said it for months now, my League 2 champions for the upcoming campaign will be Mansfield Town. I think any team who usually loses out in the playoff final then does really well in the following season, or they do really badly and end up finishing like lower mid-table. But I'm backing Mansfield to win the title. Christy Pym from Peterborough on loan is an absolutely fantastic signing. I think that's an improvement on Nathan Bishop. If you could actually think about how good Nathan Bishop was last season, I personally think Christy Pym is an improvement in my opinion. Hiram Boateng as well from MK Dons, that's a fantastic signing at this level. They haven't brought in too many players. They've brought in Riley Harbottle and Will Swan as well, 2 players on loan from Nottingham Forest, but they didn't really need to improve their squad all too much. This needed a little bit more depth, because last season I thought their squad was absolutely fantastic. In the end, you know, I know the first 10-15 games or so was really, really poor, but if they can keep the majority of their better players fit, like Reece Oates, I think he scores 20 goals next season. If they can keep players like Stephen McLaughlin fit, he's going to score goals and get assists as well from left back. You know, they've got a lot of really good players in there. I know their squad's a little bit old. If you look at players like Stephen Quinn, Lucas Akins, you know, they are getting on a little bit. James Perch, John Joe O'Toole, even Stephen McLaughlin himself, you know, they have got some old players in there, but I think their squad is more than good enough this season to be able to win the League 2 title. And there you have it. That is my predictions for the upcoming campaign. If you have enjoyed watching, make sure you drop a like on it. 150 likes, as I said at the start of today's video, would be absolutely class. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already, with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so, and it does massively help out. Get your thoughts in as well down in the comment section down below. Who will be in your top 7 and who will be in your bottom 2 as well for the upcoming campaign. Shout out to our current tier 2 channel member Dylan Broadhead and our current tier 3 channel member B Davies 211. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I shall see you all tomorrow at 4 o'clock for another video. Peace.